Hey guys, I'm out here in the Catskills. I'm going to do a little bit of gear testing. I just got a brand new HammockGear underquilt and top quilt. Actually, I had the underquilt for a while, but I'm trying out the top quilt for the first time. Not doing it overnight because I don't usually like to camp overnight in hunting season, and this is right in peak New York State deer and bear season. So I'm just out for a little while with my son, who's over gathering rocks right now to make a fire pit. I'm also going to be trying out, I got a new flint and steel striker that I want to give a go and see how that is. So, yeah. So, a couple things. I saw a post the other day on Bushcraft USA, people asking about DutchWare. And if you don't know, Dutch is a guy, he's based out of Pennsylvania. He makes some really awesome ultralight titanium hammock equipment, specifically for hanging hammocks, tarps, and things of that nature. So I've got a fairly complete DutchWare setup for my hammock suspension, and I wanted to maybe show you kind of the reasons why I use that a little bit and explain what each of them does. So this is my stake bag. It's also where I keep my hammock and tarp suspension. So this first piece, so this is my ridge line for my tarp. This is 30 or 35 feet of zinget on this end. So this is a Dutch hook. It's a tiny little piece of titanium, and it's in a fixed loop on the end of this zinget. And what that will do is when I've wrapped this around the tree, I have a small continuous loop on one D-ring of my tarp, and this just clips right onto it really snug and will hold it in place. So that's how I fix the one side of the tarp. I run the ridgeline through the D-rings on the peak of my tarp and around the other tree. And so this is another piece of DutchWare equipment. This is the Stingers, and it's got a carabiner clip on one side and this little complicated bit of gadgetry over here. So what this does is you loop your zinget through there, and it acts as an anchor that you can pull against it. So you can pull it really tight, and then once you've got it as tight as you want, you just wrap it off on there, and it gets pinched in and stays. And taking it off is just as easy as that, but it will stay put. I've been out in, I don't know, 30-40 mile per hour wind gusts and no issues whatsoever with this hanging on. So what this allows me to do, the nice thing is when I'm pulling against this hook, it lets me slide my tarp between the two trees until I get it positioned the way I want it, kind of like operating an old-fashioned clothesline pulley. So it makes those easy adjustments. You don't have to go and untie this end to move it down or anything like that. It's really, really great, and lets me get my tarp ridge line set up in probably under a minute. Again, with that ease of adjustment that you just can't really get but with a traditional tie-out. For my hammock suspension, this hammock itself has whoopee slings. So I use the 1/8 inch am steel, and it's just got a loop at one end. And on the tree strap, so this is a Dutch clip. Again, it's a titanium clip. This goes through a fixed loop on one end of your tree strap, goes around the tree, and then you just hook it right in and pull it tight. And lets you get the most out of the length. You don't have to go around multiple times. It really lets you get the most out of the length of your tree strap. On the other end now, because a lot of people, when they use amp steel whoopee slings, they use a toggle. So rather than a toggle, what I use is this is the Dutch buckle. So this slides up and down on your webbing, and then when you have it in place, you just slip the loop of your amp steel whoopee sling over the buckle, over the, not so much the buckle itself, but over the loop of fabric behind it, and it stays in place. And that also allows you to slide it up and down the tree strap, and allows you to adjust the height and angle of your hammock very easily. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna hang one of these straps, and I'll show you how that works. So I'm gonna take my tree strap here, and I'm just gonna go around the tree, pull that through. I'll have to harvest some of this for later. And once I've got it through, it's done. Now you can see the buckle here. It's very easy. Just push a little bit of it through. And you can, once you got a little bit of it out, you very easily set your length. And once you got it where you want it, pull it tight. Now the loop of your hammock just goes right over this and hangs onto it, and then you've got this little piece of shock cord that lets you kind of wrap this up, or just gives it a little bit of extra security so it doesn't move around too much. But really, for your tree straps, that's it. This is my new winter hammock. This is a DutchWare 11-foot netless hammock. You can see it comes in a little bishop bag, double-ended stuff sack. I picked this because my normal 3-season hammock, which is a War Bonnet Blackbird, in the winter I don't need all the kind of extras. I don't need the bug net. I don't need just kind of the extra weight. I'm already carrying enough stuff. So this is super, super light. It packs down really, really small. You can see if I squeeze the air out of it. And this packs down to about the size of a softball, maybe. Super, super light, less than half the weight of my Blackbird. And this, I'm using the whoopee sling suspension. So you can see the way that works. So this loop if I expand it out a little bit, this loop is going to go right over that buckle like this. Pull that out. That's all there is to it. This side of the hammock is ready to go. Alright guys, so I've got my hammock set up. This is not the ideal angle that I'd like to lay in. My trees are actually a little bit too far apart for the height that I set it. I'm not planning on laying in this tonight, so this is really just kind of for the demonstration purposes, as they say. So this is my HammockGear underquilt. This is a 0-degree quilt. It's actually probably rated a little bit better than 0 degrees because I did have them add an extra 2 ounces of down. Because I do go into the sub-zero temperatures sometimes. I've used this a few times and I absolutely love it. It's super, super warm. So setting this up is super easy. You just got a couple of these little S-biners, and they go right over your whoopee slings on one side, and on the other side. They're connected with two pieces of shot cord that are the suspension for the underquilt. And your hammock just goes right in the middle. A lot of adjustments. You can adjust how far up or down it goes. There's also a cinch cord here to determine how tightly and snugly it sticks to the bottom of your hammock. That's useful if you're hanging in weather that's a little warmer and you want to vent some air, vent some moisture, so you don't get you're not sweating through it. But give this a couple minutes. Once it lofts up, it's got a good 3 or 4 inches of loft to it. And you can see once you get in, it's going to fill out really, really well. This I haven't yet used. This is also from HammockGear. This is the Burrow 0 degree top quilts. I don't know if you can tell, but I kind of like the color orange. So there's a few different options for this. You can get it with either a sewn foot box or a snap together. I went with the snap together foot box so that if I want to, if I have to go to ground, I can use it as a, makes it a little easier to use it like as a blanket or something like that. Also, you have this cinch cord here at the bottom, so you can close the foot box off. You can also open it if you want to, if your feet are hot and you want to vent a little bit so you don't sweat into the foot box. One thing I really do like about this is I like to pull the quilt up over my head when I'm sleeping. So there's a snap at the top. Allows you to snap the neck together, and you put that behind your neck and it keeps it from sliding off. And you got another cinch cord here, so if you really want to tighten it down around you, you can do that. So again, this guy also, when fully lofted, has about 3 or 4 inches of loft to it. It's really, really comfortable. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the first night I can spend in that. Probably wait until hunting season's over in a couple weeks. So once my tarp goes up, all this orange goes away, and I don't want to be shot at, so I'm fine with waiting a little while. I like to wait till it's a little colder anyway. But there it is. Thanks for watching.